This is Bitcoin futures. Bitcoin futures pulled back kind of as expected this week. It did appear that the market was a little overbought just here. We saw that the close slightly off the week's high suggested some supply was being drawn out, which is understandable as the market pushed above the highs of this little mini range. The market's attempting to consolidate here and avoid a further breakdown. You had a pretty serious breakdown here, and to be honest, the market could have continued lower, and it's attempting to consolidate and avoid a further breakdown. It doesn't really want to move higher, at least in the near term. It wants to consolidate, sort of like it did over here, and then it pushed higher once it established that the market was stronger than weaker. At this point, this market hasn't done that yet. It may do so soon, because we noticed that this week's bar closed adjacent to the previous bar's low, but volume, as it pulled back, reduced. So selling pressure was reduced as it pulled back this week. And when selling pressure is reduced, there's less threat of the market moving lower, and that opens the door for an attempt to push higher when demand comes in. So a little more promising this week. I would expect a test for supply early. It may just be over the weekend, but a test for supply early like this. And if supply is found to be low, there may be a push up to the highs of the range. The market really shouldn't be looking to break out just yet. Just take things in slower steps. I know this market is often quite intense, but a little test for supply below the previous bar's close and recovery, volume to be low, showing that selling pressure is low, and then a push up to the highs of the range would be perfect. I'll just reiterate that it was better this week that the market pulled back here and volume was lower. It was below the average. It's the first time we've really seen it since this bar here. This was an absorption bar, and that was generally holiday affected over the holiday period. So it's kind of questionable whether that really was true lack of supply or whether people were just eating Christmas lunch and not really paying so much attention. So this was a better bar this week, was certainly an improvement over the previous weeks, and it's the first time we've had more recently of a lack of supply in the market, and that's what you need if the market's going to push higher. If selling pressure is just high and overwhelming, markets rarely can move sustainably higher in the face of supply being drawn out or selling pressure increasing as price moves higher. It just doesn't happen. You need supply to be low, and it was showing signs of that this week, and that's a positive for the market.